Welcome to the What Matters Marketing Show, hosted by Kim Skilton. This is your place to be inspired, to learn, and to build the business of your dreams with actionable marketing tools, tips, and resources. Kim Skilton is an award-winning marketer who has worked with some of the world's biggest brands. With more than 20 years of industry experience, Kim knows firsthand what it takes to build a business from the ground up. If you love to learn and are ready to take action, you're in the right place. Click follow so you don't miss an episode. Now let's get into the show.
Welcome to the What Matters Marketing Podcast. I'm super excited to acknowledge that we've reached the milestone of 10 episodes. For those of you who listen in or have come across me before, whether through emails, working with me, reading blogs, you'll know that I'm about consistency. And overall, any success, whether it's broader business success or marketing success, sales success, is going to come from consistency. And so I'm very pleased to be at this milestone of 10 episodes. And I also wanted to say thank you very much for listening. I've been pleasantly surprised for the amount of downloads we've had so far. And, you know, it's always hard to see or hear yourself. And when I've listened back to the podcast, which I always do to make sure it's not too horrendous in terms of ums and ahs, and what I've noticed I do say a lot is so. So I have listened to them. See, I just did one. And there's an And I do think, oh my gosh, how monotonous is my voice? Am I engaging enough? And, you know, you critique yourself, which is generally unhealthy because, you know, we're all just too hard on ourselves and we just need to focus on serving others. And that's where I'm trying to come from with this podcast. So I just want to thank you very, very much for listening in. And I genuinely hope you're getting some value out of listening to the What Matters Marketing podcast. And today I thought it'd be worthwhile sharing with you 7 free ways to promote your business. Now, I think it's sort of no surprise to anybody. It's interesting times this year. We're finding there's a lot of talk in the media around challenges with the economy, businesses slowing down, all this negative talk, if you like, but I do feel there's some genuineness in it. It's not just perception, there's some real reality. And so what I wanted to do today is give you 7 free ways to promote your business. And whilst they're free to do, they are genuinely free to do. There's no advertising cost or any spend required. These are things that you can do as your business owner or delegate to someone in your team to do, but it still will require some of your time. Now, I know as a business owner, we do wear many, many hats, and one of these hats does require us to determine the best ways to market our small business. Yes, we all want to do as much as we can for as little cost, and when I say cost, not only monetary cost, but time cost as possible, and that's especially relevant when we're first starting out and we've got very limited resources. What I want to do is share with you in this complex marketing landscape that we have, because it can be super overwhelming, and I guess that sometimes it's also paralyzing because we don't know what to do. We don't know, out of the plethora of things, what should I do? It does leave many business owners just not doing anything, or as little as possible, or you just keep doing what you've always done. So in today's podcast, I'm going to share with you these 7 free ways that you can promote your business without too much time and effort. And it's going to see you build a presence and drive demand for your business. But first, a little bit about me. Since we're at episode 10, and I know the intro gives you a little spiel, I just thought I'd give you a little bit more background on me, why I'm doing this, and why I want to share my experience. And I guess if you haven't been here before, you're new to the podcast, or you're new to the What Matters marketing world, Hi, I'm Kim. Yes, I'm a marketer. I've been doing this for probably too long, but I love it. It's a passion and I love business as well. I love consumers. I love people. I love to understand what motivates people, both from a business owner perspective, but ultimately also from a consumer perspective. And what I've learned over the years is, the fundamentals are the same. It doesn't matter what your business is. There's some real fundamentals in business and in also marketing and sales that you can apply regardless of your industry. And I guess I've learned this over my 20 odd years in various marketing roles. And also, I actually started in sales really. I started out as a travel agent back in the early 90s. And then I decided I wanted to step more into sales, as in business development. And then from there, I went into marketing as well. I've been fortunate to work for some incredible companies in predominantly the travel and tourism space. So when I worked for Virgin back in the early days, which was a really wonderful time. We were we were growing. We were putting on new flights, new routes every week. It was insane. It was just exploding in all of the good ways. And then we were about to, the business decided to launch a loyalty program, and I put my hand up and said I would love to be the lead on that. And I was fortunate enough to be chosen, and I got to work on the project team to launch Velocity globally, and that was an incredible experience, and probably still to this day one of the highlights in my career, where I got to work with an incredible project team, work with Brett Godfrey, the CEO of Virgin, a founder for Virgin Australia, and then also the project team who I mentioned. They were just a group, insanely incredible group of people who I'll always admire and respect. And then also the media agency and creative agency who did an incredible job as well. I also had a really wonderful time at Flight Centre. So I was the national marketing manager for one of their brands during my time there. And I was fortunate enough to, probably take a step back for a minute. If you don't already know, Flight Centre has a very established internal reward program or recognition program where no matter what role you are in within the organisation, you compete with your peers, and depending on what you achieve in each annual period, you get to then, if you are in the top, I think they generally do about the top 3 or top 5, you get to go to what they call Global Ball. Now, when I was there, the Global Ball was in Barcelona, and I was competing with all the marketing managers around the world, not just in Australia, around the world. And after a few months, I started to see my name go up on the leaderboard, and I was sitting in position 3 or 2, and we're getting to the end of the financial year, and I thought, holy hell, I've got a good chance of winning this. And as it turned out, I did win the Global Marketer of the Year award. And I was fortunate enough to go to Barcelona as Global Ball. And of course, being a travel buff, I went on and took advantage of being in Barcelona and headed off to Italy for a week and experienced travel as a solo traveler, which was incredible. Having that travel and tourism background, I've been able to really absorb, I guess, the customer journey, not only as a marketer, but every time I travel, I think about my research experience. So that planning phase, the research phase, the then, sourcing the products, those experiences you want to have. What is that purchase process like? What's that the stay, the experience, and then that post-purchase stay. And you know what? Those fundamentals apply to every business. So what is that customer journey? And it's really been able to take those learnings, those principles, and apply them to different businesses. And through my time with What Matters Marketing, I've definitely had quite a few travel and tourism clients, but I've also had, a builder, I've worked with a plumber, I've worked with a dating agency, I've worked with a first responder e-commerce site. I worked with the Gold Coast's biggest surf club, Karawa Surf Club, when they did a whole new multi-million-dollar new build. So the experience I've managed to get over time has given me a lot of depth and breadth. I've even worked with an app, Cruncher, fantastic little app, by the way. So there's so much experience across industries that I have. And I guess what it has taught me is that the principles remain the same. Yes, there might be nuances for different industries and segments, but the principles remain the same. And so by bringing this podcast to you, I want to share with you those experiences and what I've seen as the fundamentals and what I know works, and also where I can to give you live examples. So I'm not only sharing theory, I'm sharing practical examples of how you can bring it all to life. All right, so let's dive into this week's podcast where I want to share with you those 7 free ways to promote your business. Number 1, and this is particularly important for local business, and that is to create and manage your Google business page. Now, you can get found on the world's largest search engine for free. So even if you don't have a website, you want to have your Google business page. It is there for you to take for free. A free tool offered by Google for any business. The only caveat is that you will require a Gmail account to set it up, which is also free, unless of course you opt in to use their Google Workspace. But once you've created your Gmail account in literally mere minutes, you can then go on to create your Google My Business page listing, or your Google business page. They don't call it Google My Business anymore. So your Google business page. Now, creating this listing, it's going to give you a digital footprint in the most used search engine in the world. Yes, Google's search engine. So like I said, even if you haven't yet created a website, you need to create your Google business page. Now, this Google business page allows you to claim a space on the web. You get to write a long description about your business. You can add your location if that's relevant. You can feature your hours of business. It has your contact details. You can put offers on there. You can put photos, you can put events, you can manage your reviews. There's even a FAQ, question and answer section. It is such a great tool and it's free. So if you don't already have it, not just have it, but manage it, make sure that you're adding content to it regularly, then that's going to absolutely help your business. So that's a free tool. So number 1 out of my 7 free ways to promote your business is to get your Google My Business page happening and then to manage it. So don't set and forget, keep adding content and make sure you keep all the information on there current. Number 2 is establish a social media presence. Now, we're getting a bit long in the tooth with social media, so I would imagine most of you listening, if not all of you listening, do already have a social media profile on at least one platform. Now, what I would say is you don't need to be on every platform, and you don't need to be on the latest platform. You need to be on the platform where your ideal customer hangs out. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? Is it TikTok? Think about when you know your ideal customer, you can work out where they're hanging out and where you should therefore set up your social media profile. So of course it's going to help you potentially be found, be seen, and grow your visibility, but it can also help with you gaining what we call in inverted commas some link juice from a website, so Instagram.com or Facebook.com, that all have a very high domain authority, and it provides you that free channel to promote your business and of course grow a community. By having a presence on a high domain authority, so DA, so every website has a DA, domain authority. So when you can have a presence on a high domain authority website like your Facebook or your LinkedIn or an Instagram, it gives you the opportunity to show up, if you like, in a search engine result when someone searches for your names, whether that's you personally or whether that's your business name. Now, quite often for small business, your Facebook, your Instagram, or your LinkedIn profile is going to display higher in the organic search results than your business website. Now, this is due to the fact that they have these high domain authorities. To me, it's really imperative that once you set up your profile, that you keep it up to date with current contact details, hours of trade, etc. So don't do the whole social media, post and ghost. Make sure that if you're going to do it, you commit to it. And it doesn't mean that you have to do a post every day. Find a frequency that you can manage. It might be twice a week, it might be 3 times a week, but keep that consistency there. And depending on the channel, make sure you're using the functions that it offers and keep abreast of those. So for example, know how stories works on Instagram and how best to capitalize on those. Know how Reels works. Be across static posts and carousel posts. Understand on LinkedIn the various opportunities that you can, and in the kind of content that's going to work best in that kind of platform. So that's your number 2 of 7 free ways to promote your business, is to make sure you have a social media presence, but have it on the right platform or platforms, and also then commit to keeping the information current and post consistently. Number 3 is your database. So not only do you want to create a list, but you want to ensure that you're using that list. And by that, I mean email your database. Personally, I believe your number 1 goal from day 1 is to ensure you are growing your database or your list. So your database or your list, whatever words you want to use, is your real estate. It's a real asset to your business. You own that list, as opposed to a social media following, which really you're renting that space, if you like, which is a very real threat at the moment. If you were huge on TikTok and it's about to get shut down in the US, that could be a huge consequence for your business. So while social media is an incredible opportunity, you need to be aware of strategies and tactics to move people from just following you to then being on your list. So once you get them on your list, you need to then communicate with them through that email channel. Firstly, I want you to ensure that you have strategies in place to always be growing your list. So things like, encourage signups on your website and of course your social channels. And then make sure that you are regularly emailing your database with valuable content. Think about, why did they sign up? What did you do to lure them into your email list to begin with? So what resonated with them to want to sign up? And then what can you continue to deliver through regular email content that they are going to value? And this is where creating a solid content calendar or campaign calendar is really, really valuable. And it's one of the it's step 5 in my 5-step process to how I help our clients. It's the last thing we do. We do a lot of the strategic fundamentals first, and then we get to creating the solid content calendar, because that then gives you content not just for your email campaigns, but also for your socials and all your other areas of business. If you've got a physical store, it might be your POS, so your point of sale collateral as well. So do a full comprehensive calendar that you're not therefore scratching your head every week, month, day as to what you need to be producing to communicate and keep those in constant contact with your prospects and past clients. So when you create a solid content calendar to determine not only your ideal customer, but what products and services actually really serve them, and then what communication and what key messaging you can create to keep them on the hook, if you like. I'm going to put a link in the show notes to a little tool I have that will help you come up with some content ideas that can help feed your email campaigns and your social media channels as well. So just go to the whatmattersmarketing.com/podcast and go to episode 10, and I'll make sure that those are in the show notes for you. There'll be a couple of tools actually, so go in and have a look. All right, coming in at number 4 out of our 7 free ways to promote your business is be your own publicist. Now, this freaks a lot of people out, but if you're just starting out or you're not really convinced you want to allocate actual money to PR just yet, then why not become your own publicist? The great news is that with so much content being consumed, editors online and offline are starving for content each and every day to feed their beasts and to feed their audiences. So your role is to work out why they'd want to hear from you about what you offer. So my tips here would be, number 1, identify which media outlets, online publications, even print magazines that your business aligns with. There's no point contacting a motoring magazine if you're selling women's diaries. So an example of where there might be great alignment is if you sell, say, yoga gear and you reach out to yoga influencers or niche publications or even possibly podcasts in the wellness space. So it's about finding who you should be reaching out to and identifying that alignment. You want to see if they produce an editorial calendar. So a lot of online publications and print publications do have an editorial calendar, and you will find that generally in their advertising media kit. So a lot of those are available for free. You just go to their advertising link on their website and download their media kit. And in there, you're going to see what their content calendar or their editorial calendar is. Align or pitch your product, your service, your solution that to align to one of their editorial stories, and you're probably going to find you'll have much more success when you are taking a lot of the hard work out of it for them. You've already done the thinking on how your product, your service, your solution can work in well with their publication. Another tip is don't make it all about you. Make sure you know their publication. Understand who their audience is, and perhaps reference examples of their content so they know that you've taken the time to understand what they're about. So if I use the yoga example, so if we are a yoga brand and we want to reach out to a yoga publication, take the time to review some particular content, and you might be able to say, look, I noticed in the past you've done an article on what to pack when you're traveling the world but still want to do your yoga program. Our gear is perfect for that. It's light, it folds up easily, it doesn't crease, so there's an alignment piece there. So think about how you can not only make your product relevant to the editorial calendar, but make it evident that you've taken the time to research the content that they already produce and how you can tie into that. And also, don't be offended if you get a no or a not yet. Think of it as practice. Think that they might reach out to you in the future. So don't be put off about a no. How many times, let's put marketing in the lens of dating. If you don't always get a yes. So don't be afraid. It's all about trying. And as I say, sometimes a no is just a not yet. So if an absolute worst case, it's practice on you pitching your ideas and your business to different publications. All right, coming in at number 5 out of 7 free ways to promote your business is guest blogging or podcasting. So I sort of touched on that a little bit under point 4. But what you want to do is when you're looking at publications that you feel align well with your offering, you could ask about being a contributor. Whether it is an online publication, a print publication, or a podcast, or a blog, Is there an opportunity either as a once-off or a long-term arrangement where you can assist with them, and that's going to help you grow your profile and position you or your business as an authority in your area of expertise. So again, some tips on if you were to do this is, once again, do your research. Look at the articles, their episodes that they've created in the past and by whom, and think about how you could add value that's different to what they're already doing. Be pitch ready. Be ready to position yourself as the expert. Have that confidence, come in strong, know where your strengths are, what you're good at, and be ready to sell yourself as the go-to person or business for that area of expertise, knowing how you can add value to their audience. So if you do the research, you're proactive in your approach, you really know where you can add the value, that's going to come through because you're going to be confident and they're going to feel that you are the right person to provide that opportunity to. And you know what? You could also look to offer to write or record a sample piece for free, even if they don't ask for it. Send it through. It's a great way to demonstrate your passion and how great you are at what you do. And in fact, I've done that for a few of my clients where I will offer to do free audits or I give free tips away, and they go, oh, wow, okay, love that. And then they want to talk to you some more, because you've validated with them that, one, you genuinely care, and two, you know what you're talking about, and potentially other people in your area of expertise may have not brought that to their attention before, so you're gaining credibility with them as well. Right, now let's look at number 6 in our 7 free ways to promote your business, and that is have a look at Facebook or even LinkedIn groups and forums. So this is a really great way to share your knowledge and showcase your offering. I will say though, always remember to do it with no expectation of anything in return. And you also want to make sure that you're abiding by the group rules. So don't go in there guns a blazing and then not adhere to the group rules, because you'll be banned and you'll also be kicked out and your content will be removed. So just softly introduce yourself, talk about what you're capable of, and also look for opportunity. If someone posts a question, then you can answer that. And again, it's looking at how you can help communicate in a very generous way the value that you bring. You can solve someone's problem. So as an example, I posted about giving free access to my brand style guide in a couple of women's Facebook groups that I'm a part of. And the take-up was amazing. So not only have I provided a genuine, great tool for small business owners that I know is valuable to any business, I've been able to showcase an area of my expertise. So for you to find suitable groups, you simply search for them within the platform and you ask to join. Of course, read their rules first, and generally, if there's rules, I'll ask you questions before you join anyway. So you just want to make sure you read that criteria and that you abide by it. And it's as simple as that. It's a great way to raise your profile and generate leads for free. Number 7, our last free way to promote your business, and that is looking at citations. And this can work really well for local businesses. Think about, directory listings. Think old school phone books, but they're online. So your Yellow Pages of the world, True Local, Yelp, those kind of things. So not only is it great to have your business listed on there, it can help your SEO rankings as well, and in turn increase your chances of being found on the search engines, such as Google. So by doing these, it really is, you can pay someone to do it for you, or you might get yourself, or if you've got an admin person, they can go and create a profile for you on those directory listing sites and make sure they add your NAP, name, address, phone number. So they're the key things, and you want to make sure that they're consistent and they're kept up to date. And just a top tip, make sure these login details are kept filed somewhere so that when you do need to go in and possibly look at, it might be a quarterly review that you just go and make sure that you've kept them up to date. So you would want to log in, check them and make any changes. Maybe your hours of trade have changed, or you're adding extra services, or you've physically changed offices, or your contact details have changed. Make sure you log in and update those. So that's a really, yes, it takes a little bit of time, but even if you started with 5, identify 5 that you can be listed on and get those done. And honestly, it will take you probably no more than half an hour to do 5. So there you go. There's the 7 free ways to promote your business that will literally cost you nothing apart from your time. Now, I'm also going to include in the show notes a little booklet that you can download, and it covers these in a little more detail. And then at the back of that booklet, I've got a 1-pager that gives you a deadline and a status. So you have the 7 tasks that you need to do. I want you to allocate a deadline, and then I want to give you that satisfaction of ticking it off when you've done it. So go to whatmattersmarketing.com/podcast, go to episode 10, hit the show notes and download your 7 free ways to promote your business ebook. Okay, peoples, thank you very much for joining in. As I say, it's episode 10, little milestone for us to celebrate. Really appreciate you joining in, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the What Matters Marketing Show. You can support the podcast by hitting follow or leaving a review. For more great marketing information to help build your business and a life that you love, head to whatmattersmarketing.com.